These are some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with Michael Cottrell via PDK. I have been hearing things from the military side. That is very exciting, but I am cautious. I've seen this before. I'm trying not to get overly excited. Samson Behind the Curtain Report article quote Kushner al-Abadi asked for U.S. protection in exchange for money. Jared Kushner revealed that former Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi expressed in a meeting between them during a visit to Iraq his willingness to give some money in exchange for protection provided by the United States, unquote. Sampson says Kushner revealed in his memoir Breaking History, which was released in late August, that they could get 20% of Iraqi oil revenues in exchange for providing military support to Iraq, unquote. But the ministers of Foreign Affairs and Defense prevented that. Pimpy says this stalemate seems to have no end in sight. You keep seeing articles where they're saying Sadr Alliance groups want to go ahead and form the government, and then in other articles they're saying they're not budging. They keep saying they're going to apply the Constitution, but the Constitution has caused this deadlock. Sadr says he and his bloc would retire for one purpose and one purpose only, and that would be to dissolve the parliament. Breitling says Iraq is trying to expand their markets. How do we know Iraq is trying to expand their markets and they're pro-West? They're trying to become SWIFT compliant. That means they'll have access to Western markets. It only makes sense to become SWIFT compliant if you have your own currency with value behind it. Question, what does that technically mean? Breitling says it means Iraq has their own currency. The Shia aren't against that. The Sunni aren't against that. They are just trying to find out who is going to control it. The turmoil going on in Iraq is not a threat to them, adding value to the Iraqi dinar, because what they want to be able to do is expand their market. To expand it, they need to be able to have more customers. How do you have more customers? You got to have a payment system, and that payment system is the SWIFT system. That is what Iraq is concentrating on. They haven't gone backwards, they've only gone forwards. Sandy Ingram, here's what you may want to understand as an Iraqi dinar investor. There's an official on-the-books agreement signed between the United States government and the Iraqi government. It went into effect January 1st, 2009. This agreement surrounds the process by which Iraq is to recover its full sovereignty. It appears the U.S. is on the hook for returning Iraq to its previous status of glory. Yet there are factions in Iraq working against Iraq's status as an independent nation. U.S. Assistant Secretary of State for Middle Eastern Affairs Barbara Leaf did fly into Baghdad to meet with Prime Minister of Iraq. Walking Stick via Frank 26, Iraqi Bank Gentleman U.S. update. A question, can you deposit both American dollars and Iraqi in those CBI satellite U.S. banks? Walking Stick says, no, I told you they're under American banking laws. You can't have dual currencies in one account in an American bank. Militiaman says, we all know that the IQD will likely fall within a basket at the AMF. The Buna article today supports that within 2 to 3 weeks there will be more currencies going online with it. Once the IQD with an international calculation is applied and it is 100% IMF Article 8 compliant and placed into the basket, that value will be reflected in the balance sheets of the other countries that have IQD. Frank 26, exchange example. If you, as an American citizen, go to the Bank of America, they exchange your 30 Iraqi notes for American dollars into your account. Where does the BOA put your 30 notes they just exchanged? Where does it go? The Treasury. Let's say you go into one of those CBI satellite banks for Iraqi here in one of the continental states. You say to them, I'd like to convert these 30 Iraqi notes into American dollars, please. Oh, we can do that. That's what we're here for. Once they take your 30 notes, where will the satellite bank of Iraq send those 30 notes? It goes to the Central Bank of Iraq. It goes to their reserves. It goes to their treasury. It does not go to the U.S. Treasury because it is not an American bank. Lastly, pimpy article quote, Kushner al-Abadi asked for U.S. protection in exchange for money, unquote. Pimpy says, I don't know how to even digest what is going on here. Kushner said this is Donald Trump's son-in-law and advisor, quote, revealed in his memoirs Breaking History. They could get 20% of Iraq's oil revenues in exchange for providing military support to Iraq, but the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Defense prevented that, unquote.